This is a HeadGum podcast.
Welcome to Weekly, the podcast where you'll learn everything you need to know about all the celebrities you don't. I'm Bobby Finger.
I'm Lindsay Weber.
And this is a new episode of Who's There? My voice is better, I think.
Mine's worse.
Yours is worse. Were you partying hard for Passover?
Yeah, I ate so much matzah. Last night, my little cousin kept being like, "Give me the big cracker." She meant matzah, but I was like, "Whoa, that's true. It's a big cracker."
Did you hide the matzah? Did you find the matzah? Isn't that a thing?
Yeah, you hide a piece of it,
matzah?
then you find. Yeah, no, I mean the baby. We hid it, and then the baby found it.
No, but did you find it?
No,
you found
the
it?
baby found it
That's good. Where was it hidden?
in the Lego, the Lego toy set.
Wait, what?
My uncle put it in her toy so she would find it. Then she found it. It's we're non-traditional. We do things off the cuff.
Well, you put it in a Lego bin, like the bin of Legos?
Yeah.
That's cute.
Truly the star of my Passover last night was, I would say it was a vape pen, a weed vape pen that got surreptitiously passed around the entire night.
I love that your family is so cool.
Ugh, yeah, so cool. Cool.
That's fun. I'm just imagining passing a vape pen around the Christmas table.
I mean,
And my parents freaking out.
I mean, dream big.
Dream big. Not necessarily a dream of mine. So next year in Jerusalem.
I tried to explain it and my parents were like, "What? Okay."
Your parents didn't understand it? They understand whose.
I guess, but they were just like, "Wait, so you co-opted a Jewish thing and made it about your own thing? Cool." Yeah.
Wow.
You will drive it.
Yo, they wanna know.
Hey,
Come on.
hey, I want to be famous.
This is Annalie calling from Seattle. I had to call in regards to your discussion of Jennifer Aniston and her crusade to moisturize everything and everyone. I cannot believe you guys didn't mention that she owns, or I guess used to own, a hair care line called Living Proof. I cannot vouch for its quality. I have curly hair. I doubt she had anything for me. And I swear this isn't SponCon. In triple checking that she owned it, I discovered that she apparently sold the company, or she split from it after it was sold. And I have had to quote from this People magazine article. The headline is, "Jennifer Aniston is no longer a hair care mogul." And then the article continues to read, "Jennifer Aniston may be many things to many people, but as of now, she is no longer a hair product executive." I just loved that and thought it was very funny, and was motivated by outrage that you guys didn't know about Living Proof, because I feel like they are everywhere. So yeah, despite this mistake, this miss in your summary of her mogul qualities, I will forgive you. I love you guys so much, and good form, fellow Thorn. Bye.
I love this. I was reading a thing about Unilever buying Living Proof on Women's Wear Daily, and I just like this line that the prestige hair retail market is very attractive and offers significant growth. Someone at Unilever. So of course Jennifer Aniston wouldn't be on the bargain bin hair market. She's in the prestige hair retail market. I didn't even know that existed. I didn't know there was a product category.
She probably made a boatload of money from this. Jen Aniston probably had so much stock in this product, and they got sold, and she's out, and she doesn't have to do anything anymore, and she probably still makes money from this hair care line.
Of course. That's why Jennifer Aniston always seems fine. She's making so much money. Her life is great.
She's fine.
She's fine.
She's fine.
How many times do we have to say it? Jen Aniston is fine.
She's fine.
Even though she's no longer a hair care mogul.
And with the amount of calls that we got about Living Proof, you guys all know she's fine.
Oh yeah.
The proof is in the hair care product. Wink.
Yeah, I was trying to think of a rhyme with pudding, but I don't really think.
Oh.
The proof is in the pudding?
The proof is in the pudding.
Okay, next call.
Hey guys, so I am on my way to work listening to the show, and I had to pause it because you guys were talking about your first crushes, and I was thinking, who was my first crush? And then I thought, wow, this is embarrassing, but I'm pretty sure it was Chris from NSYNC, and everyone used to make fun of me for it. And then, 2 seconds later, you guys start talking about Chris from NSYNC, and Bobby told me to call you because he said anyone who had a crush on Chris, call the show. And I'm sure I'm the only one calling because who the fuck had a crush on Chris from NSYNC but me? So here I am, 24, driving to work, still getting made fun of for liking Chris from NSYNC. Fuck my life. Good for Bella Thorne.
24. So you were, oh, good. What, 7?
Yeah.
7 when you had a crush on Chris from NSYNC?
Definitely on the younger side of the NSYNC fandom. But still
But
no
that
excuse.
explains a lot.
Even 7-year-old you could do better.
All of your 7-year-old friends are like, JC.
You're like, I like Chris. I'm weird. I'm cool. I'm different. Even Chris is like, you sure you like me the most?
Next week, call in if you had a crush on Joey.
No. Do you want to hear a funny story? I tweeted this last night, but
Always.
I was looking through my old crap. Just my mom is trying to get me to get rid of crap. So looking through my old crap, and I found a headshot of Jason Mraz, and it's signed. Can I read to you what it says? Mm-hmm. Okay. It says, Lindsay, love to you. 'Twas a lovely day in the cheery old studio. Heart. Tweedles, Jason Mraz.
Was this when you worked at the radio station?
So that's what I was suspecting. I worked at a radio station for a month and then just never went back one day because I hated it. So for all you Boston fans, it's a mix. It was Mix 98.5. I worked there for a month, then decided this sucks and just decided never to go back. And I guess this must have been from this, but I don't even remember the context of getting a Jason Mraz headshot signed. But here it is.
I don't know. Maybe it was your last day on the job when you were like, I can't do this anymore. I won't worry my life away. And then you just ran out.
Okay. Yes. That was awful.
So, yeah.
Tweedles, Jason Mraz.
Hi, I'm 9, and I was wondering who the girl from La La Land is. Good form, Bella Thorne.
Which one of you paid your 9-year-old in snacks to call Who Weekly? Somebody,
Paid your 9-year-old in snacks.
Some mother out there is truly patting herself on the back for that stunt.
Kids, I gotta say, kids like musicals. They like La La Land.
Who's the girl from La La Land?
So hello, 9-year-old. The girl from La La Land is Emma Stone. She's a them. We shouldn't be talking about her on the show, so tell mommy and daddy that you really shouldn't be calling in unless you have a topical question.
Oh my God,
think about that next time.
Are you scolding a 9-year-old?
Honestly, the more listeners, the better. It's Emma Stone. She's a them. You may remember her from movies that you cannot be. You can't see Superbad.
No,
this 9-year-old
it's
shouldn't be seeing
true.
Superbad.
It's true.
This 9-year-old shouldn't be seeing Aloha. No one should be saying Aloha.
I was gonna say no one should be saying Aloha.
What else has Emma Stone been in that the 9-year-old would have access to?
To a 9-year-old, she's truly a who. Where does she even exist in a 9-year-old sphere? You know?
Right, but do you think the 9-year-old knew who Ryan Gosling was? I find it kind of strange and perhaps shady that she didn't ask about Ryan Gosling.
Perhaps shady. No, I feel like a 9-year-old maybe saw The Notebook. There's only one.
I'm not.
There's only one short.
I'm not
sex
letting
scene.
my kid. No, I don't even think it has. It's just I don't need them getting that idea in their heads.
That what?
That Nicholas Sparksian idea
that you
of
can
love
build a
at
house
9.
and make your girlfriend
I don't
come
need
back
that.
to you.
No, stop. No, I don't need my kid learning about Nicholas Sparks' version of love. So I'm just saying, I don't think I would be willing to teach my kids about that certain.
At 9 years old, I'm
theme.
sorry, they'd all there's no, you can't.
At 9, it's hard to avoid. It's hard to avoid, but I'm not putting it in the DVD player or whatever, streaming it on whatever Netflix box.
Speaking of 9-year-olds, though, we have a guest coming up soon that's going to be a them to a 9-year-old, but a who to, I think, some of our audience, and I cannot wait for you guys to hear.
Oh my God, all of our 9-year-old fans are going to start
This
calling in now.
9-year-old fan's going to be like, finally, someone for me.
Like now that I have to listen to Who Weekly in the car with like my parents.
I know.
I have something to listen to.
Oh,
So
you poor
let's
thing.
move on to this first call.
Hi, Who Weekly. It's Jake here. Long-time listener, not first-time caller. Never played my calls. Not really the point. I am scrolling through Twitter, and our favorite Daily Mail has a tweet regarding Britney Spears showing off her toned legs, one word, legs, while sitting front row at LA Fashion Week with boyfriend Sam Asghari. I Googled and already found an article from The Sun with the headline, "Who is Sam Asghari?" But I don't even want to read it because I'd just rather get that information from you guys. So can you guys introduce me to this young, very gay-looking model? Is he a model? I don't even know. I guess they're dating, but yeah. So what's going on here? Who is Sam? Thank you. Good form, Belleforn. Bye.
Who is this
Sam
guy?
Sam is just a backup dancer. Sam is like another, I mean, no better person to date Britney Spears than another android, you know? Like,
Ooh, yeah,
these two robots
he's
in love.
Of muscles robot. He is just this like really built guy.
He's a hunk of muscle.
Hunk
of muscle, you know, well coiffed. Our caller used certain descriptors I'm not really at liberty to use myself.
So they met on the set of her. He's in her video for Slumber Party, which
Slumber
you
Party,
probably didn't
yeah.
see, the one that features Tinashe. But of course,
Remember when Slumber Party, when Glory came out, Lindsay was convinced that Slumber Party would be the hit. Yikes. Yikes.
excuse me, when Glory came out, Tinashe was not on the track. So I believe that I don't have to be wrong about that. But what's sad about that whole thing is that Tinashe was like upstaged by this background dancer who would become Britney Spears' boyfriend, which is sad because that's kind of her MO.
Yeah. The best thing to know about Sam Asghari is
What is the best thing?
well, it's in the article that you found. Britney Spears, the only reason they're dating, according to Britney Spears, the only reason they're dating is because, yes, he's a backup dancer. Yes, they probably knew each other. But I guess at some point he gave Britney his phone number, and then she wrote it down and put it in her bag and then lost it. And then this headline, Britney Spears says she found boyfriend Sam Asghari's number in her bag, quote, like 5 months after meeting him.
It's weird. The quote from Britney is like, we started talking about sushi and the things we like, which is the most Britney Spears thing, is that like she loves sushi. And I said, we should get together and go to sushi one day. Yeah. Let's just do this and let's do this. And he goes, okay, I'll give you my number after the shoot. So it wasn't even like a serious thing. It was just one of those things when we were having a conversation to get through the experience, you know? Wait, to get through the experience? This is Britney Spears' entire life. Trying to get through the experience.
Of living. Of like being
living,
conscious.
Of being alive.
I love the end of this where she says, I was like, he was really cute. This guy was really cute. So I called him. He's just a really fun, funny person, which is like also classic Britney Spears, which reminds me of the supercut of her saying like, it's very cool. It's pretty cool. It's very cool. You know, it's very cool.
It was really cool. It's going to be really, really exciting. Very cool. It was really cool, really interesting, and very cool. I think it's really cool. It's just really cool. Okay, cool. Really, really cool and exciting. Very cool. Really cool. I think they're very cool. Pretty cool. It's a really cool song. It's really different and interesting. I think they're very cool. I think that would be very, very cool.
I feel weird about, I don't believe that this person was allowed to get this close to Britney Spears aside from being in the video. How did he get her his number? I just don't think she's that accessible in terms of her team does not let people come near her and just give them their numbers. Give her their numbers.
Yeah, well then, I mean, that maybe he had to realize, maybe he is the one who snuck it in the bag. He knew that was the only
and
way.
then she saw it later and was like, I should call this mystery number. And then there he was.
Sam, that's a pretty cool name. Sam.
Cool,
Yeah, that's cool.
Do you like sushi?
Cool.
I also like sushi.
I also think it's so funny. Like, I know that Britney Spears loves sushi and she talks about it a lot.
She loves sushi.
It's really funny to me that she probably eats so much sushi in Las Vegas, which I cannot think of a more disgusting place to eat fresh fish than Las Vegas, a literal desert.
I know, but she's rich, so she gets like good fish.
I know they're shipping it in, but it's just like it's so bizarre to me to eat fresh fish, which again, I understand is being shipped in direct from the sea. But like being obsessed with sushi in the middle of a desert doesn't really track for me.
Okay.
And again, it's very Britney Spears.
Aside from being Britney Spears' boyfriend, his Instagram reveals that he also does things like go to the gym. He does things like pose for photos at the gym. He does a thing where he puts a chain around his neck and lifts his body up by his body. That's really it. That's all I got.
The commenters are claiming that he's on steroids, but again, we have no proof of that. This very rude people commenter, I bet he has an 8-inch personality. I'm not even sure. I mean, I guess I get what they're saying. But
What do you get what they're saying? You think they're saying he's
no? I mean, I get what they're saying, but
tall. What do you want?
No, I know, but I'm saying like, are they saying that he acts like someone who has like a big dick but doesn't actually have one, or they're saying that he does and that she's obsessed with it? Also, this is grossing me out. I don't want to. Don't let me say this on the podcast.
You already said it. He's in Iron Man magazine, and there's like a picture of him in his spread, and it's just him in his suit holding a gun. I guess it's supposed to be like James Bond or something.
Stop.
But it's literally just him holding a gun.
We started talking about sushi, and we started about things we like, and like, we should go to sushi one day. Yeah, let's just do this and let's do this. So he's like, okay, I guess I'll give you my number after the thing. I kept his number, and it was so weird because it was like 5 months later I found his number in my bag.
Hi, Who Weekly. So today I was casually scrolling through Instagram while I was at H&R Block trying to get my taxes filed. You know how fun that is. And I scroll across this Instagram post that's like, welcome to you. And it's from Skittish Kid, who is, I think it's Scott Porter, who played Jason Street on Friday Night Lights. And I just need to say, it annoys me that his Instagram handle is Skittish Kid when he's famous, and it should just be his name. But this Instagram post that says, welcome to you, 23andMe. And he captions it, it's time. Never knew my biological father. He didn't care to stick around past my first few months of life. I know things of him, small things, not anything meaningful. I was blessed to have another man step up and step in and become an amazing father to me and a husband to my incredible mother. I know who I am, and I'm proud of what my parents molded me into, but it's time to find out what I'm really made of. Hashtag 23andMe. So, maybe the most ridiculous Instagram hashtag spawn, hashtag ad post I have ever seen. I think Scott Porter is using an Instagram ad to search for his biological father using 23andMe. On them, how generous. I don't know if you've ever seen such an insane sponsored Instagram post. Maybe the ones that, like, Tanner and Jade from The Bachelor used to conceive their child rank up there, but using a paid-for content Instagram ad to search for your biological father seems pretty desperate to me. I don't know about you guys. Would love for you to weigh in. Love the show. Clear eyes, full hearts. Bella Thorne. Love you, bye.
This is a truly good find.
It's a really good find, but Lindsay, what is our conclusion?
I don't think this is an ad.
Right. I don't either.
And here's why. First of all, this has never stopped people before, but there's no like ad or spawn on this this thing. That's one. 2, if you search his name, Scott Porter, who was also on Heart of Dixie, one of my favorite shows, so how dare you leave that out of his bio. If you search his name in 23andMe, there's no press release about him representing them. There's no whatever. The other thing is 23andMe has been sued so many times by like many different industries. So I don't think that they are actively doing influencer networking. And if they were, they would be very strict about spawn stuff.
Yeah.
Don't you think? Because they've been
they would be
sued.
really strict about the disclosure stuff for sure.
Right. And also I feel like his ad copy, you're right, is so serious and specific.
It's really earnest.
That I don't think this is I don't think this seems too, it's not like 23andMe came to him and were like, we want to do an ad, and he was like, oh, funny, I've been wanting to look for my biological father for some time now. It would be very rare and weird and unlikely that that happened.
And also, I scrolled through a couple years of his Instagram, and I didn't notice a single other sponsored post.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's an ad. I think that 23andMe is very hot right now. Like, people love doing it. I've noticed a lot of people using it. I've seen people Instagram it. I personally will never do it.
Yeah, doesn't it tell you like what you're gonna die from or something?
Well, it tells you things that like will do nothing but make my hypochondria like go crazy.
Right.
So it like tells you what you're more likely to get, or you can get the one that just tells you, your ancestry, like your ethnic backgrounds. You can get that.
Isn't that when like Demi Lovato tweeted like, I'm black?
Well, yeah, and that was like when when Blake Lively is like 3% Cherokee. Like I don't number one need to know that, and if I knew that, why would I ever tell anyone? Like, guys, guess what? I'm 2% Cherokee.
There's truly nothing more dangerous for a celebrity to get information that they're like 1% of a different cultural background in 2017. Like, that is like the most dangerous Pandora's box of information for a celebrity. It's
dangerous. It's completely unhelpful. But yeah, I think what he was saying was like a very earnest, emotional moment.
Right.
But we haven't explained who he is. And that's why before this call, I was like, Lindsay, this is all you. And the reason I said that is because he was on 2 shows that are faves of yours.
My 2
Friday Night
faves.
Lights and Heart of Dixie.
Heart of Dixie, starring Rachel Bilson, also kind of a Who, which is now off air after airing like maybe 1,000 episodes. I mean, that show was on for 25 years under the radar.
Hello, Lindsay and Bobby. This is your friend Richard. I'm calling to ask about who Chad Mountain is, because he has been all over Instagram this weekend with Laura Dern and Reese Witherspoon in the big build-up to the Big Little Lies season finale, and he's got all these videos where he's making pun jokes with Reese Witherspoon and laughing with Laura Dern on the beach, and I have done some searching. He has some IMDb credits, but and he's on Twitter and Instagram, obviously, but I just can't figure out who he is. So can you guys do some research? And I would really appreciate it, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Love you. Bye.
Thank you, Richard.
Thank you, Richard. So I am personally surprised that Richard felt the need to call in, because Richard is an excellent sleuth
now,
when it comes to like...
Bobby, you are doxing him now.
No, I'm not. This is not a dox. Richard, I feel like all 3 of us are very, very good at following breadcrumbs and finding out the truth about people, All of us are good at that.
This one was really difficult. That's what I was going to say. This one, particular person, I had to search like 5 different times and follow many different leads to actually get my answer as to why I know he is with them.
Hey, Reese.
Yeah.
Are Jim and I going on the boat today?
No, you're not invited.
This means war. Oh. Hey, Reese. Did I blow up by not getting on your Insta Live?
Yeah.
I must have cruel intentions. Honestly, Reese, how great is this place?
Great.
Is it just like heaven? Hey, Reese.
Yeah.
You want to hit the ropes course?
No, not really.
I thought you really liked to walk the line. Hey, Reese.
Yeah.
Did you order a cocktail?
No, not yet.
Let me guess, you're going to order water for elephants?
Oh, God.
I will say, my gut was correct from early on. Even though, yeah, it takes a while to figure out who he is. My gut that he was more closely intertwined with Jim Toth, her husband, was spot on. I immediately was like, this is a Jim connection.
Okay, so Chad Mountain, this guy, shows up in, I don't know if you guys follow Reese Witherspoon on Instagram. If not, you should.
Gotta.
It's very good. She is all over
on
the place.
Twitter, follow her on Facebook, follow her on everything.
So she has been posting Instagram stories because someone showed her house. So all of her Instagram stories, like this past week, she's been on vacation with her whole family, her kids, her husband, and this guy, Chad Mountain. You know what I mean? Like, it's her family and this guy, Chad Mountain. And Chad Mountain...
Yeah. It's like Yumi and Dupree, and he's Dupree.
Yumi and Dupree. Wow, good reference. So...
I mean, terrible reference, but go on.
Okay, so... If you Google Chad Mountain, there are things. He has Instagrams. He's done weird comedy stuff. He does have IMDb credits. He's worked on Ghosts of Girlfriends Past and Jarhead 2, Field of Fire.
Which I did not even know that existed until I saw you pasted it in the doc. How does Jarhead have a sequel?
I don't know. So it takes a little while to find out what exactly he does that would even give him access to the Witherspoon family, let alone like a vacation invite.
Right.
And I found it out because on a throwaway IMDb page, they identify him as the COO of JK Living Productions. Do you remember what JK Living Productions is, Bobby?
Just Keep Living.
That is Matthew McConaughey's foundation / production company / t-shirt making factory. That is his brand. Just Keep Living. Just Keep Living. And so I guess this guy, Chad Mountain, whose real name I found out is Thomas Chadbourne Mountain. Chadbourne. Is the COO of JK Living. So to me, it's like he's connected to Matthew McConaughey and he's friends with Reese Witherspoon. How is he connected to Jim Toth?
Jim Toth is on the board of JK Living Productions.
Oh, so
Just Keep JK Living.
So they work. So Jim and Chad and Matt all work for JK Living.
Yes. So, but there is another connection. So all these people are intertwined in various ways. So it's either through Jim Toth became friends with him at JK Living, or because of a pre-existing friendship with Jim Toth, he was like, you should be on the board of directors because you're my friend, or I'm whatever. But also Matthew McConaughey, we already mentioned the Matthew McConaughey connection, but Matthew McConaughey gets connected to him because of Ghosts of Girlfriends Past, which he worked on.
Right.
That's why I can't figure out if that's it, or if it had to do with Jean-Marc Vallée, who directed Dallas Buyers Club, that Matthew McConaughey won an Oscar for, because Jean-Marc Vallée is now really close with Reese Witherspoon because he directed all the Big Little Lies episodes.
Also, I found another connection.
But I really think it's through Jim.
Also, Chad is friends with Lance Armstrong. There's a tweet where he wishes Lance Armstrong, his quote unquote brother Lance Armstrong, a happy birthday. So isn't Lance Armstrong close with Matthew McConaughey?
Well, yeah, because of the Texas collection. So because of Austin. They're both like big Austin people.
Right. So I actually think that could be the connection.
The Matthew McConaughey?
I don't know. I mean, clearly there's a web of like people who are loosely affiliated with Matthew McConaughey happening.
Yeah.
Right.
But my gut just says that through these relationships with Matt and Lance and maybe Jean-Marc Vallée, I don't know. Through these connections, he met Jim Toth.
And don't you think Reese is like the kind of person that would want to bring somebody fun on her vacation that's not her kid? Like she'd say to her husband, oh, you should like invite Chad to come with us. He's fun.
Yeah.
You know?
He's fun. Because it doesn't seem like, not to lean into like heteronormativity, but it doesn't really seem like
lean on in,
the husband
baby.
is... It doesn't seem like the husband is the one doing the inviting in this situation.
We know that
you know
Reese
what I mean?
is the boss. We've known that
Reese is the boss. Yes. The other thing I wanted to bring up was the Instagram that you found of him doing like a comedy video with Charlotte McKinney, who we've discussed on the show before.
Right, who I thought he was dating. I thought that was the joke, but I think it's just comedy.
I think it's just comedy, and she is a young model who is best known for being in one of the final Carl's Jr. like bikini ads. So like you think they're naked, but they're not. She was in one of those at the last Super Bowl or 2 Super Bowls ago.
Bro Bible too. It's like very much a thing.
It's shades of who. So I don't know if we did a good job answering this question. I just think it seems like the connection is Jim Toth.
I think we did an amazing job. Literally, this is the most information you've ever gotten about a who's actually somebody who was a mystery to us before I even got this phone call.
Oh. So our hypothesis, they met through Jim Toth. Reese was like, this guy's fun as hell. Bring him on the vacation. And he came. So next call.
Hi, Who Weekly. I called a couple days ago asking about the WWE and Nikki Bella. Is she a who? Is she a them? Side note, I am also a huge fan of Buffy. So, you know, I follow Sarah Michelle Gellar on Instagram, and she just posted a photo of her new cookbook, which is very hooey, and she met Nikki Bella. How the fuck does Nikki Bella, WWE diva, meet Buffy the Vampire Slayer? Like, what? How did this happen? Is this normal? Is Sarah Michelle Gellar a who? I don't know. I'm very confused. All right. Love the show. Good form, Bella Thorne.
So, I haven't quite figured out how Nikki and Sarah Michelle Gellar are together, how they posed for a picture together. But I think I was trying to get to the bottom of this in terms of just who Nikki Bella is and her world of influence. And like, I think she's actually one of the more famous people in the wrestling world because she is now engaged to John Cena, who is like proto The Rock. Big deal, like a huge deal. And so I reached out to our friend Jeff to kind of get the lowdown because he's a he's a like wrestling person, and he kind of explained to me how she fits in the world of wrestling. And I think it actually gives a good hint as to why Sarah Michelle Gellar would be interested in her, because if she was interested in wrestling at all, this is the person who's the queen of this world.
Nikki Bella is a wrestler for WWE. She's been there for a little while now. She kind of crossed over from the previous Divas era, which was more focused around glamour models wrestling, and now the female division is much more athletic focused. But more importantly, I guess, for this conversation, she has been dating John Cena, who is probably the closest thing to a them in the current wrestling world, not counting The Rock, obviously. And they, for a long time, on their Total Divas, Total Bellas, E! Entertainment shows, which are basically Kardashian ripoff shows, that's been a long-standing plot that John Cena would never propose to her, and that crossed into wrestling, where they got into a feud with The Miz, who is the former Real World contestant who became an actually pretty successful wrestler over the last decade or so. And they had a big feud going into WrestleMania, and The Miz teased John Cena for never proposing to her, and The Miz's wife teased Nikki Bella for never getting proposed to, and all that nonsense. And then at WrestleMania, they beat The Miz and his wife in a match, and after the match, John Cena proposed to Nikki in the middle of the ring. And as ridiculous as this all sounds, it actually came across kind of sweet. And that's kind of Nikki Bella for you. Good form, Bella Thorne.
Was that not the best explanation?
Jeff, there's no way in hell we would have come anywhere near that amount of detail and passion. And I appreciate Jeff.
Who
for that
knew
call.
that wrestling
Two great calls.
was so like heteronormative, like pressuring people to get married and engaged? Like what a journey that drama is.
Lindsay, have you noticed this? I didn't. Does WrestleMania happen just once a year, or is it more? Is it more infrequent? Is it like the World Cup, where it's every other year?
I think it happens once
a
year.
year.
I don't.
Okay.
You're asking the wrong.
But I've just noticed.
Person.
Yeah. I've just noticed that like so many people I know are coming out of the woodwork
So
as
many people.
like WWE fans.
There were
Where you
all
just,
these
like, everyone's
closet
watching.
wrestling people like getting ready to watch it for the night. It was so weird.
Did you see the one yesterday of like a wrestler approaching an ambulance and then tipping the ambulance over with his body?
No.
Did you see this? It was like a man,
No.
a very strong wrestler man,
No.
and he goes into an ambulance that's like in the backstage of WrestleMania, like on a soundstage, and he lifts it up and tips the ambulance over. I was like, I gotta watch this.
I mean, what's kind of
What's
amazing
happening?
about this is that from the world of wrestling, we have The Rock, who is a bona fide A-lister, and only a few years ago was literally just a wrestler that you'd never heard of.
Yep.
So he crossed over. John Cena, who Jeff just talked about, has hosted the Teen Nickelodeon Awards. He starred in he was in that movie Trainwreck with Amy Schumer. He's been in a bunch of other stuff. He's kind of on his way to crossover. It's interesting.
He's in those hefty ads.
Right. It's interesting how these wrestlers are so well prepared to be actual famous people because they act and they're gregarious.
It's acting. Wrestling is acting.
They have already the skills needed. Also really funny, forgot that The Miz was a real wrestler.
Yeah.
Mike The Miz.
But that was a great explanation. Thank you so much, Jeff. It was really essential.
Yeah, and I just realized now, the explanation for why there's a picture of Sarah Michelle Gellar and Nikki Bella, they're holding her cookbook. Nikki Bella could have just gone to her cookbook event and wanted like a signature as a fan of Buffy.
Yeah, that's possible.
Let's not put that past the whole situation. They're not, I don't think that this picture proves that they're friends. It proves that they met at a Sarah Michelle cookbook signing event and somebody wanted an autograph.
Yeah, and I wanted to say, I think it's really funny that Sarah Michelle Gellar has a cookbook coming out because her husband released a cookbook last summer. Did you know about this?
You mean her husband, Freddie Prinze Jr.?
Her husband, Freddie Prinze Jr., released a cookbook called Back to the Kitchen. It's called Back to the Kitchen, 75 Delicious, Real Recipes and True Stories from a Food-Obsessed Actor. And so I think what's really funny is that, so she wrote the foreword also. So Sarah Michelle Gellar releases a cookbook the following year, and it's called Fun with Food, over 115 simple, delicious ways to be creative in the kitchen. Okay, so she one-upped him in terms of recipe count. And number 2, guess who didn't write the foreword? Freddie Prinze Jr.
Who wrote the foreword?
No one. There's no details about the foreword. She has a co-writer named Gia Russo who works for Martha Stewart Living, or used to. Freddie Prinze Jr. is nowhere to be found in this book. I just think...
Do you think his book was named after Sarah Michelle Gellar being like, get back in the kitchen? I had that thought.
No, I think he's just like, Freddie Prinze Jr. is like a Stanley Tucci-ish guy where he's like, cooking is my thing. Like, surprise, guys, I also love to cook. I'm very serious about cooking. I'm not just an actor.
I'm not surprised. All right.
Anyway, are we done for the day? Thank you for listening to another wonderful week of calls. We had excellent explanations. We had excellent calls. We had excellent comments. Once again, thank you so much to all the people who called, emailed, and tweeted at us about Jennifer Aniston's hair product.
Thank you so much.
I love it.
I'm gonna.
I love when
send
we're
that
inundated
to,
like
I feel
that.
like I need to send that to someone to be like, the brand is strong. You know, living proof. The brand is strong.
Yeah, and then once again, I just want to call for, if Joey Fatone was your first crush, call in.
Don't call.
Or just email me.
Don't call.
Just email me or tweet at me. You can leave Lindsay out of it. I just want to know.
You can tweet at Bobby directly and tell him, do not call. This is not a thing we're starting.
I just want to know.
Jeez. You found the one girl with the Chris Kirkpatrick crush. We don't need to find like whoever else.
Now I want to find the one person with the Joey Fatone crush. I'm sure they exist. Okay. Thanks again for listening. We will see you next week. Have a great weekend.
Bye.
Bye.
You will dream it.
Yo, they wanna know.
Hey.
Come on.
Hey. I want to be famous.
It's very cool. It's pretty cool. It's very cool. You know, it's very cool.
That was a HeadGum podcast.